everybody, Randy Patterson here again with Boomerocity. You know me, if you've been following Boomerocity for very long and all, you know I love turning you on to up-and-coming artists, and that is certainly the case with this episode. I talk with Maggie McClure and Shane Henry, their husband and wife, and they form the Imaginaries. And when I heard their music, I knew right away that I had to talk with them. They are amazing in their musical talent as well as in their business prowess. They make an amazing couple that can pull this off in ways that I am sure are going to take them to great heights in this industry. They are highly talented musically. They write incredible songs you just really love listening to over and over again. And this album is full of those kind of songs. And did I mention that two guys you might have heard of or that help out on this album? One of them is a guy by the name of Vince Gill. He played with some little album or a band called the Eagles, might have heard of him. And then, of course, a blues dude by the name of Joe Bonamassa. People don't know Joe or blues artists. I'm kidding, of course. These guys are amazing. They're at the top of my list as far as talent goes, and they contribute to this album. So that right there should tell you that you need to buy this album. Not just stream it, please buy it. Let's support our artists. While you're listening to this interview, would you please go ahead and hit like and also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It won't cost you anything, but it helps Boomerocity out tremendously. And don't forget to share it either with your friends who are music lovers. They're going to love this couple, and they're going to love this music. So without any further ado, here is my first of what I sure hope are many more interviews to come with Maggie McClure, Shane Henry, and they are the Imaginaries. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care.
How cool is that?
Well, hello, you two. How's it going?
Hey.
Nice background.
I thought you might like that. So
Love it.
I'll be happy to give it to you when we're done. I'll make arrangements for you to download it, and you can use it whenever you wish. So my gift to you. So
Thank you.
But, where are you guys clicking in from?
Our home studio right now here in Norman, Oklahoma.
Norman, Oklahoma. I was all set to hear you say California, but Norman, Oklahoma. I used to live in McKinney, Texas.
Oh, awesome.
So,
We love McKinney. We play there often.
Do you really? Who do you play? Do you play with any of the locals there? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play with the Maley Thomas Band and several different.
George Fuller and his wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good friends.
I'll be darned. I talked to them, gosh, it's been 13 years ago, something like that. Yeah. Nice little guitar store that he owns there. So,
We
so you
love
might, if you, well, just so you know, my intro song is from Quentin Hope, who lives in the area. And I met him through Andy Timmons and then of course, you know, George Amelie and all that. So I used to live probably about 2 miles from the Guitar Sanctuary there. So
very cool.
Wow.
So you know, it's all good. My daughter went to OU for a couple of years there, and so yeah, I'm very familiar with it all. So glad to get to talk to you.
Where are you at now?
So, I'm in the quote a line from a song from a little British band. I'm in the Smoky Mountains way down south. I'm in Sevierville, Tennessee, a couple of miles up the road from Dollywood.
Nice. Beautiful area.
Yeah, I was looking at your itinerary. I saw you're going to be playing over in Franklin in September. I doubt that I can make it, but if I can, I'd love to kind of drive over and catch your gig. It would be fun to see you guys in person. So
yeah, for sure.
So it took away my first question. I was thinking you lived in Southern Cal, and so I was going to ask you how the fires affected you, but did they affect any of your work there? Because you do some work in California, do you not?
No, we hadn't been out. Actually, we haven't been out there in a little bit, so it did not affect us.
Yeah.
Good.
We're grateful for that, but we do have many friends who were affected, unfortunately.
A lot of friends, a lot of musician friends were displaced. It was really terrible.
Yeah, a lot of gear lost.
Oh man,
all that terrible stuff. So I love what I've heard from this album so far. It's great. I love your sound, and I think I hope a lot of people hear it, and it helps launch you guys to your next level here. And what before we talk about the album, though, tell viewers when this thing posts, tell viewers who the Imaginaries are.
Well,
We're a husband and wife duo from Oklahoma, Shane Henry and Maggie McClure.
we both were solo artists before we met, and we met through music. I opened a show for Shane when I was 16 and he was 20, and the rest is history. The Imaginaries have been a band for 6 years now, and it's a nice blending of Shane's background in the blues rock realm and my background in the piano-driven singer-songwriter world, and with a dusting of Americana. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the Imaginaries.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, if I've read correctly, and there's a good chance I didn't since I got the whole Southern California thing wrong here, and I'm embarrassed about that. You guys have had a pretty successful run at doing soundtrack and sync work and things like that. Tell viewers a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, we did live in Southern California in the Glendale area for about 7 years or so. But before that, my songs from my solo project started getting placed in different TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of happened. And so then I had this resume. So it was easier, not easy, but easier for me to get in the door to talk with music supervisors and directors and pitch our new material. And so Shane started getting his songs placed. And then, of course, the Imaginaries have gotten our music placed in many different TV shows and movies. And being in LA, we started getting acting on camera, musician and singer role opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what led us to being a part of A Cowgirl's Song, which came out 3 years ago, starring Cheryl Ladd, Darcy Lynn, and Savannah Lee May. Shane and I co-star in the movie, and we got to write and produce the whole soundtrack, which was really exciting. And so one thing has kind of led to another, and we just love working on films and TV shows and being a part of them. Each one is a different, animal, and things have kind of now progressed into where I have my own music licensing company and represent our catalog as well as some of our friends. And now I am a music supervisor as well. So it's
Wow,
pretty
wow.
cool. Pretty cool. Thank you.
I've I need to put you in contact then with a couple people. Oddly enough, I last year, yeah, I guess it was it had to be last year. About a year ago, I interviewed a gentleman who you can say he's a friend of mine. He was very involved in gospel music, Southern gospel music, way, way back. And I grew up in Arizona, and that's where I knew him and his family from. And he happened to write one of Elvis Presley's favorite gospel songs
Oh,
that he
wow.
would have one of the Imperials sing for him when the Imperials were. I guess the guy wound up being with the Stamps too, but the name of the song was "When It's My Time," and then it was sang at Elvis's funeral, and
Oh,
then
wow.
when the interview had been out for gosh, going on a year, a couple months ago, a music supervisor from Australia contacted me saying, trying to track down Phil Johnson. Can you help me? Because we want to use the song in a Elvis documentary in Australia. So I managed to put those two together. But Ricky Byrd from Joe Jett and the Black Hearts and several others I know. So, on a separate side note, if you want to get in contact with anybody I've interviewed that you want to manage that piece of it, I know they would love to get their stuff on TV and movies as well. That seems to be what everybody's talking about these days. But
Yeah,
so
always
cool,
open.
very cool.
Sorry about
Well, hey,
the door.
nope,
The doorbell just rang and a new
a
guitar
little
showed up.
box.
National was on the front porch. I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, you don't want to leave that out on the front porch.
No, not in Oklahoma when it's 100 degrees today. So
No, not at all. So before we get into the album, I'm very curious. Husband and wives don't always make a good business pairing and a good
Yeah.
working environment. You guys are obviously very successful at it. What do you feel sets you guys apart from other husband and wife teams in being able to be successful in working together?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is we've learned how to communicate with each other. We know um, how to be in a music business mindset, like when it's work time and we're working on the band, and also it's just like we kind of know we figured out that communication line, and I feel like that was really important
Yeah.
because early on it's like, say for instance when we started writing songs and stuff, obviously we had to realize that, hey, we're not in boyfriend girlfriend mode or relationship mode, we're working on music right
Yeah.
now. And just being able to understand how each person responds to things, I think we figured that out over the years, and we
Mhm.
respect each other enough to know how to communicate. And I think that's step number one. And I mean, I think honestly, like we're best friends and like we just naturally get along easy. And, the things that I'm really good at, or maybe the things that Maggie struggles a little bit with, and the things that she's exceptional at, I'm not good at. And so
Mhm.
we've really fit together well in a
Yeah.
lot of those ways because between the two of us, like the things that we need to work on the Imaginaries, to work on the band, like the recording aspect, I'm really good with Pro Tools and engineering and helping edit and stuff like
And
that.
anything gear wise.
Yeah, Maggie's great if with all of our, visuals and stuff on social media and things of those nature. So we just really fit together well in that regard. And I think communication was really the key, figuring out how to talk to each other, how to work on stuff without it turning into an argument, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
example of that. And it's funny, people will ask us, how do you guys do this? How are you a couple and do
I'm
this
just
together?
wondering, are there a lot of like married people out there that are just miserable? It
Yeah.
works for us, you know? True. True. But I mean, it's just like it works so well for us, and it's like it's fun because, the back in the years of doing our solo things and hitting the road, and being out there by yourself for months at a time, it's been really nice to have each other. And like Maggie said earlier in an interview, it's like, hey, if we have a night where, my voice for whatever reason is just raspy or I'm not 100%, she can carry the show.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
pretty cool about the Imaginaries is we cover a lot of territory and we're able to you know, um, yeah,
Step up and
step up
and help
for
however,
sure.
whatever might be lacking.
Do you guys ever find it difficult to turn the close sign over on the store, so to speak, and
Yeah.
like
I
say, all
have to
right, no business talk, no
Yeah.
I
business
have to
talk.
make her do that. I have to make her do that at dinner a lot because it's always the next thing on the agenda. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. The to-do list is never going to end. Like, it's never going to end until we're dead. So let's just realize that, hey, now is a non-talking about the Imaginaries. Like, you can talk about anything else, but I don't want to hear anything about the band right now. And then this
See,
past
I
week,
thought it would be the other way around,
no, no,
honestly.
no, no. This is the most driven woman you've ever met. If you think you can find somebody more driven than her, good luck. It's not going to happen. I mean, she's literally in her dreams, she's networking,
And
she's talking to managers, she's talking to booking agents, she's booking tours. She'll raise up in the middle of the night and she'll be shaking somebody's hand, air shaking somebody's hand in the bed. And it's crazy. This girl is like she's on fire, you know. So
Good
it's
thing
just
she's not. Good thing she's not billing you like by the hour on the
I,
clock or
I
something.
know,
You'd be
right?
broke, you know.
Oh,
So,
totally. Totally. But no, like this past weekend is a good example. I'm glad you asked that question because we've been in a season, with obviously releasing a record, there's a whole lot of work involved in that. There's a lot of behind the scenes work. There's getting all this material together. There's getting all the merch together. There's all of the social media posts that you have to do. There's all the videos you have to do.
we're doing
There's so
all of it.
much work. We're doing it all. And this one never stops long enough to just enjoy a day off. And I said this weekend, I said, we're going down to my mom's this weekend and we're having a pool party. We're doing nothing else. And that's what we did. And it was great.
good
So,
deal.
I got a few hours in on
yeah, she still brought her up and got it out when I wasn't looking, but I have to hide
Well,
it.
if you guys are anything like I am, I mean, you may be away from the computer, you may be away from the gear, but this is never stopping. It affects my sleep, so
For sure.
I can relate to
Yeah.
all of that. So, well, what's the story behind this album? Like I said, what I've heard so far, I haven't got to hear everything on it yet, but the couple songs I have heard, I absolutely love. How did it all come about? Tell me the story behind it.
Well, of course, the band started from the One Mic series going to Muscle Shoals. That's what sort of was the original spark that the band started from, was from those sessions. So we recorded our debut album in Muscle Shoals, and we decided to go back and see if we could, if that magic was still there, and it was. And so the first session for this record was in February of 23,
Mhm.
and we cut 10
Okay.
songs during that session. And it was just, we had a lot of material written. We weren't really sure exactly what the track listing was going to be, but we knew that like our first record was a lot of songs about struggle, a lot of songs about overcoming, and this one was more about being on the other side of that,
Yeah, breaking through.
breaking through. Just a lot of those kind of themes, and then a lot of just songs that we always like to have positive, hopeful material in what we're doing,
Mhm.
and encouraging songs. And so we had a group of songs. We cut all those. Then we came home and rewrote more. And we thought, man, I think we got some better songs. So we
Well,
went back a second time.
yeah, and we felt like we were just missing a couple different types of songs
Yeah,
for the collection. And
yeah,
so we went back and we recorded at Fame. The
yeah.
first time we went to Cypress Moon Studios, and but with the same people, and it was a great experience both times. But with the second batch, we did something that we have never done before, which is finish a song while we were there
Ooh,
and then record
dangerous.
it.
Yeah,
So
it is very dangerous, but honestly, that happened to be the album title, and that's the song Fever.
yeah.
Was written. We had the little idea with the guitar hook and a verse, but we never really finished the chorus. It never really had manifested to anything more than that idea. And we sat down, we wrote it, and we were just like super inspired. I think there is something in the air down there in Muscle Shoals, and it's like it's nice when you go somewhere to
Yeah.
work on music. It's like when you're on vacation. There's nothing, you can't think about all this stuff at home. You're
Yeah.
there with the intention of working on music and music only. And it's really great because your focus is really narrowed into what
Yeah.
you're trying to do. And we wrote that song pretty quickly. We actually brought in our buddy Jeff Silbar on a Zoom session, and he helped us finish the hook because he was coming in for those sessions as well. So it turned out amazing. And then we cut it like the next day.
Yeah,
Super
it
cool.
was really exciting. And that song in particular is a good indication of the album because it's about going all in and not holding anything back. And I think that's another common theme throughout the album for sure.
Yep. What made you decide on cyber? I mean, there's so many studios in Muscle Shoals, right? I mean, and everybody knows the historic ones, Fame, and all that. What made you decide on that particular studio?
Well, Cypress Moon has kind of like two rooms in it, and one is where we cut our debut record, which is
Yeah.
called Portside Sound, which was actually Studio B. There's Studio A and Studio B. And Studio A is where we cut the new one, which is run by the owner,
Tanya.
Tanya, and Kelvin Holly, who play guitar on our record. That's his wife. So that's their studio. And so we cut this one in Studio A, which was awesome. It's a bigger room. We sat in a circle. I mean, it was such a magical experience. The whole thing
Yeah,
was great.
it was a very relaxed atmosphere. Not at all as much on the clock as some other studios. Very much more casual and chill, and we really appreciated that and really liked the vibe there.
So we did 10 tracks there, and then we came back down, and through both records, we had never gotten to experience Fame. And we just wanted that experience to see what it was like recording there. And so we did 5 tracks there, and the tracks that we cut there were Fever,
I knew it was
I Knew It Was You,
a couple of the songs that haven't come out yet.
Breaker, and Riding That High.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So this was at the Fame Studios.
Yes.
Mhm.
So there's a blend of some of the songs cut at Cypress Moon and Fame, all are part of this record.
Yeah. And we did a lot of overdubs and finishing the album there in Nashville, actually, at Yakland Studio, because we self-produced this, and when we left the sessions, we came home with a ton of files that needed to be gone through, and we needed another set of eyes and ears, another brain
Mm,
involved. So our good friend Stephen Lywicki at Yakland Studio helped us get it to the finish line.
very cool. Well,
Yeah.
I've yet to make it to Muscle Shoals, but I'm going to. And the big reason why is I want to go to Fame Studio. I'm not a musician, but I did get to. I remember his last name, but I get two names. I often get the first name wrong. The guy who founded it, Hall,
Right.
Rick Hall. Yeah, Rick Hall.
Rick Hall. I either want to say Rick or Doug,
Yeah.
and I know both names very well. But yeah, Rick Hall. I interviewed him before he died when
Oh,
he
how
was
cool.
coming out with his book, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remaster or re-edit the audio because that's all I did back then before this Zoom stuff, and I want to
Yeah.
put that out there on the YouTube channel and the podcast. But I mean,
Super
what a
cool.
legend! What a
Yeah.
story! You know,
Absolute legend. And you know his sweet wife still works at the studio, and you'll see her if you go in.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. How
There, and his
cool!
son Rodney pretty much runs the studio, and great people, awesome. They're just sweet as can be, and they'll give you the grand tour of the whole place. And what's so cool about that studio is it's just like it was when Rick built it. I mean,
Is
it's
that right?
changed a lot. Yeah.
The documentary they did on him too was very good. I loved it.
Yeah.
So putting this together, I mean, you guys have done a lot of recording, but this is your second with as the Illuminaries. What were there surprises that you didn't anticipate while putting this album together?
Good question.
Well, I think something that always is a surprise, whether we think it's a surprise or not, is the financial aspect. It's like
Yeah.
it costs so much to do this and to do it right, and that's why we had to do it in phases, and that's why it took us so long to do another album. From just the traveling to the recording aspect to then mixing, then to mastering, then now artwork and photos and videos and marketing and all of the costs. um that always is on the forefront of our minds.
Yeah.
But as far as this some other surprises, great surprises, are that we got Vince Gill and Joe Bonamassa to
Whoa,
part of
yeah.
our album, and that was not planned in any
No,
way.
that was just totally like you couldn't have made it up if you tried. People are going to see that and they're like, "Man, who's this unknown band that has all these like amazing guitar players playing on their record?" And it's like I always tell Maggie, like she gets up on stage, she's like, "Yeah, this next song features Vince Gill on guitar, but he's not here right now, and now Shane's going to try to like play the solo." And it's like it always, it
No
always
pressure.
it always sets me up for a clam bill. It's like my hands get sweaty, and I'm like, "Crap, I got to play like Vince Gill." It's like no one plays like Vince Gill. But anyways, no, it's through friendships. It's through, we worked on a film, and through that film process, we knew a musician in Oklahoma named Byron Berline that gave Maggie Vince's number, and that was a friendship that we just got to know him, and we had this song, and we just thought he'd be perfect for it. And Maggie called and asked if he'd play on it, and he said, "Sure, why don't you come over to the studio tomorrow?" And we were in Nashville doing these overdubs, so we did. And then my connection with Joe Bonamassa is I used to open for him when he would come through Minneapolis. I got my career started as a blues musician, blues rock musician in Minneapolis, and I would open for
Wow.
him at the Caboose and some different venues. And then fast forward a few years, like in '05, I was on the BB King Festival tour opening for BB King. And at the time, Joe was one of the artists that was kind of in the middle of the BB King Festival tour. So I got to know him better then. We moved to LA. I ran into him at Norm's. Anyways, long story short, we were buds. We connected over old cars. I eventually sold him this old truck that I had fixed up, and he took that truck and had a hot rod shop do a bunch of work on it. Saw that we were in town and wanted to show me the vehicle after he had all this work done because it was really like what I wanted to do if I had an old, if I was able to spend a lot of money on it. And he came by the studio when we happened to be working on Crossroads, and we said, he came in the studio. I said, "Man, it'd be awesome if you'd play a little guitar on this song. I think you could do something really cool." And we played the track for him, and he loved it. And so he played the solo and played some cool slide stuff. And it was just one of those kind of more impromptu things. Like it wasn't super planned out, you know.
Yeah, and
It's not the Nerdville truck, is it? That he
Yeah.
took.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
it's
I'll be
it's the
darned.
truck. It's the truck that says Rutledge Refrigeration and on the
Oh, okay.
it's a
Yeah, I
1950.
know which one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was mine. I don't know where my phone went, but I rescued it from a barn in Arcadia, Oklahoma. And I always wanted another truck. I always wanted one because I I had one in high school that I went to Votech class and I restored with my grandfather. And then, of course, as a
Mm,
young musician moving to Minneapolis, I was broke and needed money, and I sold the truck, and I regretted it. So I found this other one, and it was so cool because we had kind of had this period of time where we were kind of back and forth between LA and Oklahoma, and then we moved home, and I fixed it up in my downtime. And while my grandpa was still alive, we got to enjoy the process together again. And I
neat.
took him and I left the exterior. The exterior was so cool. It was an old patina truck, but we did all the mechanical work and fixed it up, got it running and driving, and cruised it around and enjoyed it. And then Joe, of course, saw some posts online and he fell in love with the truck and he just had to have it. And he kept asking me if it was for sale, and it wasn't. And then we started getting ready to make the next Imaginaries record. And I thought, well, if the number hits the right amount, maybe it'll be for sale, you know? So he kept
You
making.
sound like how he is on negotiating selling guitars.
Exactly. Well, I said, I said I buy and rarely sell. I said, but he honestly godfathered me on that deal. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I told him, I said the truck is not worth what you're paying me, but I'll sell it to you if you want it. And so I said, I'll tell you what, since you're being so sweet about what you're paying me, I'll put it on a trailer and drive it to Nashville. And so I did. And so, anyways, that all of that connection and everything that happened there led to these collaborations. And of course, I met Ariel Posen at NAMM several years ago. Always been a huge fan of Ariel's playing, and I know that like a lot of musicians like him and Joey Landreth, people like that, they record and they do sessions. I mean, they're musicians, man. They're not always on the road. They're looking for side work and stuff. And we had Wishing Well, and I thought,
mhm.
man, this is a perfect song for him to play some slide on. And so I just hit
Mhm.
him up and sent him that song and offered to pay him to play on it. So just like a studio musician.
Yeah, he did it remotely.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Very
it's
cool.
cool.
So off the topic of the album, but a Bonamassa question for you. You
Sure.
mentioned Norms. I assume you mean the guitar shop, right? And
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
okay, well, Norm's wife said at the end of the documentary that she would really love for Joe to take over the store from Norm. I
Yeah.
asked Joanna Shaw Taylor
Hmm.
if she thought, no, no, was it Joe? It was either her or Josh Smith. I've interviewed them both in the last few months.
Oh, cool. I
If
love
they
Josh.
thought, oh, they're great people, all of them. They,
Yeah.
I asked if they thought whichever one I asked, if they thought Joe would take over Norm's. Before I tell you their answer, what do you think Joe would ever take over Norm's rare guitars?
I think that what Norm has built is such an important institution, just the community that guitar shop has provided.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves going in there. It's really
Mm-hmm.
been cool what he's done with his like YouTube channel, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that Norm has a heart to help musicians that aren't already famous. You know what I mean? He treats everybody, whether you're Tom Petty, Joe Bonamassa, or Shane and Maggie, the exact same. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
makes Norm such an incredible human being, is that he just loves music and
He
he loves
makes he
musicians.
makes everyone feel special.
Right. And so
Yeah.
I think that Joe, I personally think that if there was an opportunity for him to help keep the store going, that he would. I think that I don't necessarily know that he's going to be behind the counter working there, but I think that he
Right.
has resources to help keep that going. And I
The
think he would. I
legacy.
think he would. Yeah. I definitely
Yeah.
think he
Well, whoever again, I can't. I think it was Joanna, but I think she said he's too busy to take it on. But I'm thinking, a couple more years because he already said that he doesn't see himself playing that much longer. But Joanna says, oh, he always says that. So who knows? But
yeah.
I just question, would there be enough room for both of their guitar collections to fit under one roof?
Well,
You
the thing is that Joe probably doesn't have anything that he wants to sell, but you never know. I mean, that's true.
know?
Who knows? But I hope it stays open. I know that
Yeah.
it's a special place, and it's kind of like what happened with Carter's vintage guitars. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, they moved across the street in Nashville, and the people that bought that out, they sort of helped usher them into this new building and stuff, and they're still rocking and rolling and doing. I mean, that doesn't
Yep.
feel much different than it did when you went to the old location. So
Oh, cool. Well,
yeah,
time will tell on all this.
for sure.
Back to your album. Which song would you point to? And this is a question for both of you. You may have different songs that you'd point to, not as your favorite, but as a calling card for the rest of the album, telling people who are just going to discover you because of this interview that, hey, if you like this song, you're really going to love the rest of the record.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, I think it's probably two tracks. Fever, which I feel like is the reason why we put it as you always load your album with a song that you feel like is like, one that you can kind of boom, you're getting a bass hit right off the bat with that song.
Hmm.
And it has the energy, it has the vibe, it has sort of the rock element, but it also kind of, we kind of have that a little bit of that Alison Krauss, Robert Plant thing going on that track, and
Hmm.
but with a little bit more of a rock edge, and it feels like the Imaginaries. I mean, that sort of it sets the tone for what the album is. And I think that song, and I also feel like on the back half of the album, the song "I Knew It Was You" kind of shows the more like Fleetwood Mac-ish vibe of what we do and a little bit more of the
Hmm.
acoustic side because there's kind of two sides of us. There's like this rocker, edgier blues rock thing, and then there's a little bit more acoustic,
Intimate.
forward, intimate
Hmm.
thing. And so those two songs are the ones I would point people to. And then as you listen down,
Yeah.
you'll find whatever resonates with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I Knew It Was You feels like a really good middle ground for the record. You can, naturally hear songs like Fever and Wishing Well stemming off of that. And then you can also hear Constant and Here For You and Little by Little stemming
Yeah,
off of that as well.
for sure.
Um, so that's the one I would say, but I think Wishing Well is also a really good one to point people towards.
Okay. What's been the preliminary feedback so far? The album doesn't drop until next month, right? August,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I
So,
guess it's too soon to know, but it seems like with each single we've put out, our fan base is growing because
Hmm.
like that was the reason why we sort of waterfalled this record out. We could have released it a year ago, but putting all this energy, effort, and money into a project and then just putting it into the wild, what happens is we consume stuff so quickly that within 6 months, people are expecting you to record another album and have it out. And it's
yeah,
like, well, we don't make music based on AI and it clicking a button and it's done in 5 minutes. We
right,
actually write
right.
songs. We don't use any of that. We play with real instruments. We pay all the people that are on these records for their talent and all that. So
Hmm.
it's a process, but our our distributor Randall over at Symphonic told us that if you guys will release a single every 8 weeks and keep being consistent with that, you'll see your numbers grow, you'll see your fan base grow, and it did. It grew from about this time a year ago a little over 5,000 monthly listeners up to anywhere between 40 and 50,000 monthly
Yeah.
listeners. So we've definitely did this on purpose to help engage and grow our fan
Mm.
base.
Yeah, the
Very cool.
feedback has been really good so far, and we're excited to see what comes with the rest of the year.
Now, surely you've tried some of this stuff out in your live gigs. What's that response been like?
Oh, it's been great. People love it. People love it. I mean, we've been playing these songs now for, I mean, I would say we've been playing half of the record now for about a year, and all of those
Hmm.
songs have resonated well.
Yeah, but we wanted to intentionally save, a good amount of the songs until it was finally time. And so now we're with these upcoming dates, we're going to start introducing all of the new songs. So that's pretty fun for us.
Cool. Well, final question. What's on your radar after, I mean, the album's going to drop in August.
Mhm.
What's filling up your itinerary for the rest of this year and going into next?
Yeah.
Lots of tour dates. I mean, we're going to be on the road a ton. So that's really keeping us busy. We just found out we've got some Americana Fest showcases and cool stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So imaginariesband.com for all that. I also am co-owner of a guitar pedal company called Westerland Audio.
Hmm.
And if you want to check that out, it's pretty cool. We have a new pedal that we're going to be releasing later this year. So that's on my
Hmm.
personal radar. And then
We'll be releasing new singles that didn't make the album, but they're bonus tracks on the vinyl only with the QR code. But we'll be releasing those to the public towards the end of this year, along with new singles. There's a new song that we'll have featured in a movie that's coming out in November. We'll be putting that out. And we've got a couple Christmas shows in the works. Word is we'll get to open for the Gatlin Brothers Christmas show in Guthrie, Oklahoma again this year, which we did last year. So really excited about that. And there's this movie called The One that's coming out, and not only is our music featured in it, but we're in it as well on camera playing one of our songs. So
I'll be darned. Well, you mentioned the Gatlins. I'll give you a little background on something. I mentioned earlier the guy that wrote the song that was sung at Elvis's funeral. His name is Phil Johnson. He was a big time gospel music producer back in the 70s and early 80s. His brother is Tim, and fabulous keyboardist who married a gal by the name of LaDonna, who was the sister of the Gatlin brothers. So
wow.
that all kind of ties in together.
Okay.
There's a lot of synergies there. And Tim and LaDonna played for a gentleman that was in East Texas, tied with the David Wilkerson Crusade. His name was Dallas Home. You might have heard of him. And so that's where all that stuff comes into play. And I like I said, I knew the Johnsons from when I was in Phoenix growing up as a kid and all that kind of thing. So it's interesting how the relationships can lead to creativity and new music, isn't it? So
Absolutely. Sure. I'm
yeah.
curious, did you interview Josh Smith for his latest record?
yes, I did. I
Oh, awesome.
did. It
Very
was
cool. Well,
he was
Josh,
in his studio.
oh,
So
awesome. Very cool. Josh played guitar on my last solo record that came out in 2018 called Light in the Dark. So Josh is a
wow.
phenomenal. Yeah. Good friends of
I've
him.
I've always been curious how two guitar prodigies can get along with each other, and I mean, it became very obvious how it does with he and Joe. And
Yeah. Well,
but if you,
I think it's they both respect each other. They both can play their butts off, but they both have their own sound completely. And I
yeah,
think
they do.
Josh, as far as what he's doing with Joe, he knows how to fit in and he knows how to support him in the way that needs to be. He knows what he needs to do, and
Yeah,
it's he shines when his moment to solo shines. Everybody goes their jaw drops because they're not
yep,
expecting him to rip the
that's
way
right.
you know.
Confidence is one thing, ego's another. If you got a lot of
Absolutely,
confidence, you're going to get along great. If you got a lot of ego, it might be a problem. And
absolutely,
knowing when the two can shine, that's called wisdom. So
absolutely.
what
Well, that's
it
what's so cool about both of those guys is they don't have egos. I mean,
yeah,
they know that they're great at what they do, and they just love music. They love
yeah.
music and they love the whole thing. So it's
I
cool.
love what Joe does in support of the blues and the artists who are up and coming. I interviewed him, gosh, it's going on 2 years ago now, was the last time I interviewed him. I think I caught him in a bad mood. You can watch it. It's on my channel, but I just got what I thought was just great stuff when I mentioned about the work he was doing during the pandemic to help other musicians.
Yeah.
And it was a genuine compliment. Boy, did he go off on Rolling Stone magazine. Oh my Lord. And I was just like, hey, I'm loving this, but this isn't what I was going for. But man, just let it keep coming, man.
Oh yeah,
he
Joe's
was,
a
he
great
was
guy.
just, yeah,
He
he is.
really is. He's a great guy, and he helps so many people in so many ways. And he's helped us, and we're honored to be his friend. We really are.
Yeah. Well, I've seen him more in concert than I have anyone else. And
Wow.
he's never, ever disappointed. And I'm a huge fan. I turn a lot of people on to him. And I love seeing what he does for people like you and other artists. And I don't care how grumpy he gets with me or anybody else. I think he's a great guy. So
Absolutely.
that's what it's all about. Well, you two, this has been a lot of fun. Please know my door is always open to you. I look forward to talking to you a lot more in the years to come. And
Awesome.
please let me know if there's ever anything I can do to help support you. And if I can make it to Franklin in September to see you guys, I'll definitely do it. But if not, then the first chance I get, I want to see you guys perform and maybe meet you before or after the show and
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any
shake hands, hug necks, and all that. So,
Are there any cool singer-songwriter venues that are close to you that you love to hear music at?
oh yeah, we've got there's a little small place in Knoxville called the Open Chord.
Okay. Open
Okay.
chord.
And you could self-book there. I've
Yeah.
got friends that bring their bands through, but some names have come through. Jake Shimabukura, the ukulele guy,
Yeah.
he's been there. Who's the McCartney guitar player that's still alive? That's not with McCartney. Is it Denny Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there. I mean, it's an old steakhouse that they've converted into a song venue and music. Right? I mean, he's a Taylor guitar dealer there.
Awesome. Very
First
cool.
name's Randy. I forget his last name. I just call him by his first name so I can feel like I'm talking to myself.
We've done the Blue Plate special several times there in Knoxville.
Oh yeah, right downtown, down on Gay Street. Yeah, that's another good one. As far as smaller, intimate venues, that's one thing. You know, right up the street, you got two theaters. You got the Tennessee, that's 1,600 seats, and then the Bijou, which is, I don't know, 700, 800, 900 seats there. Fun little place. But
Yeah, for sure.
but if you get booked there, please let me know so I can come over and
Oh.
see you guys.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great. We'll let you know.
We
All right.
will.
Well, listen, stay safe, and especially there in Tornado Alley, and and I hope to meet you guys face to face down the road.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Appreciate you.
Take care. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.